Welcome to Marian Ayurveda. In this episode, we are going to discuss carpal tunnel syndrome, which is a condition that causes pain or numbness in the wrist or hand. We will be talking about this disease that leads to pain, numbness, or tingling in the hand in this episode. I am Dr. Anumod Kakkassery from Marian Ayurveda, Thrissur. During my college days, among the conditions I saw, carpal tunnel syndrome was one of the most painful diseases I encountered. Because of the pain in the wrist, patients are unable to sleep at night, experience severe swelling, and objects slip from their hands because they can't grip them properly. Carpal tunnel syndrome was truly a very painful condition for these patients. At that time, while we were studying, when we were house surgeons, I had tried many treatments for this condition. Various types of poultices, different massages. No matter what was done, I never saw the patient's pain actually decrease. So during my student days, that became a big question for me. How can we actually cure this disease? And then finally, I remember that patient eventually had to undergo surgery. After that, for a long time, I kept thinking about how to treat this disease and whether it would be possible to find a cure through medication. In recent times, we have developed a treatment for it. After developing it, what we realized is that when you hear the name of this disease, you will immediately understand the treatment. In the wrist, there is a ligament called the transverse carpal ligament. This disease is caused by swelling due to fluid accumulation in that area. When it swells due to fluid accumulation, there is a part inside it like a tunnel, and through that tunnel, blood vessels and nerves pass to these three fingers of the hand. When this transverse carpal ligament swells due to fluid, the nerves passing underneath it get blocked. So when patients become extremely uncomfortable due to constant numbness, pain, and tingling in the hand, surgery is performed to cut and remove this ligament. This is what happens. Usually, what can we do in Ayurveda in such cases? If we take a photo here, a color photo, we can see that this so-called transverse ligament appears red and swollen in the image. In such areas, when we often apply kiji, herbal poultice, i.e. do massage, or give heat treatment, we know that if you apply heat to an already inflamed area, the inflammation will only increase. Usually, these patients apply heat here to get relief, but this actually worsens the condition, or they use kiji, which also makes the condition worse. Here, we use medicines that reduce the disease, that is, treatments that reduce this heat and inflammation. When such treatments are given very quickly, in my experience, within 3 to 4 days, or at most 5 days, the pain subsides. Sometimes just 1 or 2 days are enough for the pain to decrease. Within 4 or 5 days, the discomfort from this condition lessens, and you can see the pain and this burning sensation going away. So what I understand from my experience in treating it is that carpal tunnel is actually a very minor disease. We know that a characteristic of this disease is that if you have surgery on one hand or if the swelling subsides, within a few months it will appear in the other hand as well. That is, it also has a nature similar to arthritis or rheumatism. So we see many people who end up having surgery on both hands. So why does this happen? As far as I understand, although people say it is due to repetitive activities and various other reasons, I believe that, like with all diseases, acidity is the main cause of this condition. Drinking excessive amounts of tea, eating pickles, having problems related to gas, or experiencing mental stress, these are the kinds of people in whom we have often seen more cases of carpal tunnel issues. Or those with a history of rheumatoid arthritis, these are the types of people in whom this condition is seen more frequently. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to Ayurvedic treatments, we have often done a lot, but the treatments I'm talking about now, or the internal medicines taken, are all quite different. One thing I can say for sure is that these are not treatments with a huge cost. At most, the total cost of treatment comes to around 500 to 1,000 rupees. So very quickly, let me say, let's give it a try. I'm telling you now, a lot of patients have tried this, and for everyone, within 3 or 4 days itself, there has been a significant reduction, 70, 80, even 90% improvement in some cases. Within about 10 to 15 days, this disease is completely cured. We can confidently say that carpal tunnel is such a minor disease. So for those suffering from this kind of pain, there are 2 or 3 things you should do. The first is to never apply heat to the area. Similarly, reduce the amount of spices in your food, the amount of tamarind, or avoid consuming items like lime, orange, and sweet lime. Make sure to sleep on time and eat on time. If you do these things as a home remedy, you can grind neem leaves and apply that paste to the affected area. Applying such soothing herbal paste, which can be made by carefully grinding and applying fresh aloe vera juice or crushed neem leaves, can often provide some much needed and effective relief for the affected area. One thing we need to keep in mind with carpal tunnel is that we should never apply heat. We will meet again in another episode. Thank you.